commissioner that has not been sworn in. So at this time, before any action, before any roll call is taken, I will need to swear in Commissioner Danner. So if she would, and her family, I think, want to join me in the middle of the county commission floor. And anyone else that hasn't been sworn in, we need to get you sworn in tonight.
Roger, so you're not going to stand at the podium at the speaker?
Okay, there you go. Ms. Danner, if you'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, your full name, thank you, do hereby solemnly swear that I will perform with fidelity the duties of the office to which I have been elected and which I'm about to assume. I do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of Tennessee and the United States, and to faithfully perform the duties of the office of County Commissioner representing
the 4th District
of Williamson County, Tennessee. Thank you. Congratulations. Put your name there as you want it to appear. You need to sign there. The next order of business that we have, we're going to change the agenda around, and we're going to go to item under County Commission Chairman. And before we actually ask for a nomination, I'll ask you to do a roll call so that we all get a head count. So would you please push your button for Mrs. Anderson? Everyone's voted the way they want to. Mrs. Anderson, would you record the vote for us, please?
I have 24 present.
Thank you, ma'am. This time, the floor is now open for nominations for a one-year term for chairperson of the Williamson County Commission.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate Jack Walton as chairman.
Second.
Proper motion and second. Other nominations?
Move that nomination cease. Second.
Proper motion second. All in favor of the nomination cease and by acclamation signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Let the records reflect it was unanimous. We're voting on the chairman, Mr. Jack Walton. All in favor of Jack Walton signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Let the records reflect it was unanimous. Mr. Jack Walton, 8th District. Jack, come on up here.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored. Thanks. The second item on the agenda, I guess, is to elect Chairman Pro Tem. The floor is now open for nominations. Commissioner Hayes?
I'd like to nominate Louis Green.
Second. Proper motion and second.
Move nomination cease. Second.
All in favor? All in favor of Commissioner Green? Congratulations, Lou. And the vote was unanimous. The next order of business, I'd like to call on Commissioner Jones to give us our invocation.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all the blessings that you have given us. We thank you for the opportunity to live in this great country and to live in this great state and this great county. We also thank you for the opportunity to serve and live in a county where we have the freedoms of democracy. At this time, I ask you to be with this commission. May we work together for the citizens of Williamson County. Be with us throughout this meeting and throughout our term. Also, dear Lord, be with the young men and women of our military, and we ask that you bless them while they're protecting our freedoms. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Mr. Chalfant.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on the agenda is approval of minutes of a regular meeting July 12, 2010. Proper motion and second. Any additions or deletions? All in favor? Opposed? Let the record show it's unanimous. Next item is introduction of and acceptance of Highway Commission meetings. We should have two of those. One was mailed to you in July. Do we need to vote on those separate? Yeah, and so I'll accept a motion for the July minutes. Proper motion second. All in favor? Opposed? Let the record show it's unanimous. And then we also have August minutes that were mailed to you for the Highway Commission meeting. Proper motion. Second. All in favor? Let the record show it was unanimous. Let's see here. Citizens communications, do we have anyone? All right, we have three, and each one can have up to 5 minutes. The first one I have is Gary Rice. If you'll come forward and state your name and address, Mr. Rice.
I am Gary Rice. I'm at 3893 Perkins Road. And Mr. Chairman and ladies and gentlemen, I am a candidate for the open seat on the county road there, commission. And I would appreciate your effort and your vote. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next person, Vanessa Bryant. Ms. Bryant, likewise, if you'd state your name and your address.
My name is Vanessa Bryan, 530 Antebellum Court. Cheryl Wilson asked me to come speak to y'all tonight about the Sister City, Sister County program. I was fortunate enough to go to Ireland with my son, who is he's a junior now at the University of Alabama, and we had a fabulous time. The people in Ireland were just wonderful to us. They showed us all kinds of accommodations, took us everywhere. We went all over Southern Ireland. I only have 3 minutes, I think, or 5 minutes. I can't tell you all where we went. But this program is just phenomenal, and I was able to meet so many nice people. Marianne Maloney, who now has a garden named for her at O'More College of Design. And I would ask you to go there. I think there's a Celtic cross there as well. Anyway, we just had such a wonderful program. This Sister City, Sister County project builds relationships, both educational and economic development. It's a fabulous program. I was the county official to represent Williamson County to give the gifts to the county leash and the mayor of County Leash. One was a hand-painted painting from Governor Bredesen, and I read a proclamation from Rogers Anderson, our county mayor. At the end of it, the mayor of County Leash said to me, "Do you think Rogers Anderson, does he have a little of the Blarney in him?" And I said, "Yes, I think he does." So, anyway, I would commend this program to you. I think Cheryl's going to talk more about it later, but I just wanted to tell y'all it was just a trip of a lifetime. Beautiful, beautiful Ireland. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person we have is Mr. Wayne Davis.
I'd like to thank the commission for letting me speak with you this evening. I'm seeking the vacancy on the road commission because of the death of Mr. Brennis Baker. Mr. Baker was my wife's stepfather, and he considered this a very important position, and so do I. So I would like to get your consideration for this job. I live at on Robinson Road in the southwestern part of the county. I'm a lifelong resident of the county. I'm retired from Middle Tennessee Electric after 38 years. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I'm married 42 years to my wife sitting back here. We had 2 boys, but we lost one. And we don't have any grandkids. We'd like to. But that's about it, and I just appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Let's see. Mayor, do we have a presentation? Is it?
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the opportunity to come up here this evening and make a couple of presentations. All of you but 6 were present at the July County Commission meeting out at the Ag Park, and at that time we gave service awards away, and we have a couple that we need to give those service awards away to tonight, and so that's the purpose of this. And so if I could have Jason Para to come forward along with Russell Little. Both of these gentlemen have earned this distinction. Both of them have given a lot of time and energy being county commissioners. The first one I'll give is to Jason Para. Many of you know he served from 2006 to 2010. He was in the 4th District, and he served very admirable with Commissioner Wilson. Jason, thank you very much for your service. Here to say a few words.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody for welcoming me and being and really helping me out for the last 4 years. Couldn't have done it without your support, and I'd like to thank the people of the 4th District for giving me the opportunity to serve them, and I hope I didn't let them down too much, and I'd like to, that's about it. Thank you.
Next one is to Russell Little. Russell is coming out of the 11th District, and he served from 1999 to 2010. As many of you know, Russell chaired our budget committee on numerous occasions, worked on most every committee. And so I'd like to say to Russell, he's got a full-time job right now, but he's really got another one. He just became the Board of Trustees chairman out at Williamson Medical Center also. So he's just changing hats and working very hard. So Russell, thank you. Thank you for the service you gave.
Thank you. 2 things I'd like to say. Number 1, get your pencils out. Get your pencils out. That's a command. You need to write this down. Yesterday, September the 12th, was the birthday of Diane Giddens and Elaine Anderson. So on an annual basis, you need to remember that and call them up and wish them a happy birthday, because I didn't get to do that yesterday. So on an annual basis, please do that. Take up that and thank these 2 ladies for all they give. Along with that, serving Williamson County was an incredible honor. The Our family has a long history, and I think it was Sir Isaac Newton that said, used the phrase standing on the shoulders of giants, and not to pick out my family in particular, but this county commission has a proud history of being very tight-fisted with the dollar. And it's one of the reasons why we are as prosperous where we are right now. You took an honor, part of your oath, to uphold the Constitution. I have made it almost a 2-year-long study now to look into the Constitution, what goes on there, the writings, why our founding fathers arrived at what they did. And if I can give you another piece of wisdom to carry with you for the next 4 years, it is that the least government is the best government. Thank you for the honor, and carry on. You're going to do well.
Mr. Chairman, would you care that I go for it?
Yes, please do.
Mr. Chairman and County Commissioners, I would ask that Will Denami and Dennis Anglin come forward. As you can see on the agenda, we are offering a Lifetime Achievement Award to Dennis as County Property Assessor, and Will be handling that. Will is the Executive Director of the Tennessee Association of Assessing Officers. Will?
Thank you, Chairman Walton and members of the Commission. Especially thank you, Mayor Anderson and Diane Giddens, for allowing us to be here today. My name is Will Denami. I'm the Executive Director of the Tennessee Association of Assessing Officers, and it's my distinct privilege to be here to present to someone who's a friend of mine and a dear friend of everybody in this room and needs no introduction, Dennis Anglin, the highest award that we have within our association. And before I give it to him, I'd like to just highlight a couple of other high points he's had in his career. Prior to being elected in 1984 to your assessor of property, Dennis was a real estate appraiser, and he was also a real estate broker, and in 1979, I believe he was the Realtor of the Year in Williamson County. He has been president of the Middle Tennessee Assessors Association, president of the Tennessee Association of Assessing Officers, president of the Tennessee chapter of the International Association of Assessing Officers. He has twice been recognized as the Assessor of the Year. And today I'm here to present him with the highest award that we have, which is truly the hallmark of a successful career, to be recognized by your peers. And I'm here to present him with the Lifetime Achievement Award.
I don't have to tell you, Commissioners, I'm not one for making speeches, but it's certainly an honor for me to accept this award from my peers. That really makes it special. And I want to thank Will for coming out tonight. I want to thank this Commission and the Mayor for allowing us this time. I want to certainly thank my staff, who is without them, I would not have this. And I want to introduce a few people. I want to introduce my wife, Robbie, my son, Shane, my granddaughter, Bailey, and my grandson, Jake. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dennis. Congratulations. Next item on the agenda is report from county offices. Mayor Rogers Anderson.
Again, Mr. Chairman, I want to say, as David is coming up, we'll have a couple of items to the new county commissioners. Welcome aboard, and if our staff can help you all in any way, please feel free to call upon any of us at any time. I know we've spent considerable time with quite a few of you, and that's what we're here for, to try to explain as much of the resolutions and the business at hand, because this is a very important meeting that we have 9 times a year. First of all, let me say to Dennis, it's always great to work with Dennis and all the elected officials, and I hope you will see in the audience that just about every single elected official that's here tonight, and that's a testimonial to you as the new county commissioners coming out and them supporting you. So, Mr. Chairman, if you do not mind, I'd like to ask all the elected officials in the audience to please stand.
Go ahead.
Thank you for coming in. And, okay, David, if you would, kind of give us a snapshot of the financial picture here in Williamson County.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, and welcome to the new Commissioners, and we'll go through and maybe give a little more explanation tonight of some of the things we're going to talk about. But the first thing that we do each month is give you a Williamson County budget report that you'll find in your packet, and this just gives you a comparison of the actual current revenues and expenditures compared to the budget. Also gives you any amendments that were made to the budget up until this point. This report is for the month of July, so at this point you don't get a real good picture of how things are going to line up. You've only got 1 out of 12 months. We just now got figures this week to close out August, so we don't have that ready yet, but we'll bring it to you next month. So that's just mainly tonight to give you the format and let you see what it looks like, and you'll be seeing that each month. Also, Mr. Chairman, the other report that we do on a monthly basis is the privilege tax report. We have 2 of those tonight. We have the month of July, and also I believe at your desk is the month of August. This gives you a snapshot of where we are on the regular privilege tax and the adequate schools facility tax. Unlike maybe some national news, we try to give you as much good news as we can when we find it. There hadn't been a lot lately, but looking at this report, I'm happy to say that this is the best August report we've had in 3 years. And even though it's not huge, we're going to take that as good news. We've also, the last 3 months in a row, we've been above $200,000 in the regular privilege tax. That's not huge, but it's certainly an improvement. And as we've said for several months, we're looking for trends, and this is trending in the right direction, and we hope and trust that it will continue to improve. I believe also you have at your desk the legal sheet that has the color chart, and that is just the privilege tax again, and give you a history going back there to 04-05 and giving you a comparison. So you'll see that every month, and you can track that and see how we're progressing on the privilege tax. And then the last item that we give you each month as it comes into us is the report from the Cool Springs Conference Center. For the month of July, we had a profitable month and received a check for $23,554. But then in the month, that was the month of June, I'm sorry. Then in the month of July, we had a negative month, and we were required to write a check to the Conference Center for $52,209. Certainly not any excuses, but July is typically a down month because most of their Conference Center business is corporate business. And the month of July, you have very few corporate people that are traveling. They're on vacation instead of doing corporate business. But anyway, we will bring that to you each month. And Mr. Chairman, if there are any questions, we'll try to address those now. And then later in the meeting, we have the bond resolutions we'll be spending some more time talking to you about.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
Mr. Chairman, the final comment that I will make, because you do have a lengthy meeting, is that you've had 2 individuals to step up tonight and offer up their service to serve in the place of Renus Baker, who passed away some 45 days ago as one of our road commissioners. It was our choice to not make an appointment in that position until September out of due respect for Mr. Baker, but you will be seeing the names of these individuals coming forth in the month of October. So that is one of the reasons that that's not on your September board meeting at this time. Mr. Chairman, that concludes everything. Sorry? Oh, yes. I have one more thing. It was a late entry. Kenny Wallace, Mr. Chairman, if you would not mind, would like to say a few things of what's going on at the Ag Park, and then when he finishes, that'll be the end of my report unless there's some questions.
Not
Kenny?
at all.
Kenny?
Thank you, Mayor Anderson, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of this council. First of all, I want to tell you what's going on at the Ag Park now. We have a huge show. It's called the Music City of Maturity. It is a cutting horse show. If you're not familiar with cutting horses, it is worth your trip out to see exactly what we do. We will have approximately 500 to 700 horses this week, between 2,000 and 3,000 head of cattle. So as you can see, it is quite an undertaking for us. The cutting started last Friday. It'll go through this Sunday, and so we invite all of you. If you haven't seen it, come and join us. The building opens at 5:30 in the morning, and it closes whenever. Our shifts are split right now. We have a small maintenance staff, so we're working 2 shifts now. And but I just want to invite everybody to come. If you hadn't seen it, it's a great event. A lot of the proceeds to this event is put on. Our show is put on by Williamson County people. You're very familiar with them. I won't drop any names, but they're prominent citizens of Williamson County, and a lot of the proceeds from this show goes to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. So it's a very worthwhile cause. And I was just out in the parking lot today just to give you an idea. We had people from Florida, Georgia, Texas, and there's also a group of folks from Montana. So we have a lot of people there. And Mr. Chairman, before I finish, I'd just like to say and go on record, we just finished up, as everyone knows, the Williamson County Fair. I would like to thank all the different departments that helped us, the Ag Park, get through this, and all of our volunteers. We had a wonderful fair, very successful, and I'd like to thank this body for making it possible through the Ag Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny, and a good job on the fair, too. Next item under County Officer Report.
Jack.
Oh, excuse me. Commissioner Barnwell?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. Historically, since I've been on this commission, I think a long time before I was on this commission, 4 members of this commission have been on the hospital board of trustees, and now we have just 1. How are we going to resolve that issue and get back up to 4 commissioners?
In the month of October, actually here in a week from Thursday, there'll be a name submitted to the hospital board. That's where it originates. And then we have, that name will be brought back to you all in October. Our bylaws at the hospital indicate that you can have as few as 1. Certainly you would like to have more than 2 and 3. We have 1 opening. When Ike Brown resigned, then that district, which is 5, 6, 7, and 8, there has to be someone applied for it from that district, and so that name will be forthcoming to the hospital board next week, and we will have 2. Currently, all the other positions are filled, and we will be looking at those spots as soon as others either retire or rotate off as soon as we possibly can.
Okay, so we're looking potentially for a commissioner from 5, 6, 7, or 8 to be on the board?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is that it, Commissioner Barnwell? I'd like to call on Dr. David Heath, Chief Administrative Officer. Dr. Looney's on a superintendent's meeting, I believe.
Right. Dr. Looney sends his regrets. He's in East Tennessee this week, and just wanted to say that we started off well this year. We have a few over 31,000 students, and due to a lot of hardworking folks upstairs, we projected 643 kids, and we had 641, so that's not too bad for projecting growth. Later on, we have some resolutions, and if you've got questions, I'll try to answer those that time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Heath. Any other committee wishing to make a report at this time? Mr. Wilson.
I would like to, going back to Vanessa Bryan, who is here, she is our public defender and offered to go as a county representative, elected official. And she wanted to see the court system, and she didn't know how much time she could actually see. She got into Parliament in Ireland and was able to take some many good things there. As most of you know, we do have a Sister City program, and I would just want to spread the word out. We can make announcements, and I want to let people know we have a Celebration of Nations that will return. This is the 3rd year, and it will be this weekend on Saturday at a Moore College campus from 5 to 8, I believe it is. And I wanted to encourage everyone to go. There'll be enough parking. Many nations are represented in this county and surrounding counties. So it's a wonderful way to go and see some of the culture and taste some of the foods, and also just get a little bit of the ambiance. There'll be bazaar booths and foods and all of that, and just want to encourage you to please try to go and support Sister Cities. Ireland will be one of those represented. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilson. Item 9 on our agenda is elections and appointments, and these are proposed by the county mayor. Commissioner Brockman?
I just was going to mention something. For those of you who are not able to attend some of the meetings in August, our new zoning regulations are forthcoming to reflect our comprehensive plan that we went through a few years ago. And if you were not able to come, I just wanted to remind you, modules 1 and 2 are on the website, so I encourage you to look at it.
Thank you, Commissioner Brockman. All right, moving on, we got the elections and appointments. These are recommended by the county mayor. Budget Committee, Lou Green, Chairman, Arlene Cook, Greg Davis, Brandon Ryan, and County Mayor Rogers Anderson. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
Proper motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Next committee, passed unanimously. Next committee, Purchasing and Insurance Committee. I have Tom Bain, Kathy Danner, Jeff Ford, Doug Langston, and Rogers Anderson. Do I have a motion? Second. Proper motion. Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimously. Excuse me. The Public Records Commission, County Commission Representative, the vacancy is Mary Mills. The nomination is Betsy Hester. Proper motion second. Any other nominations? Who seconded that? Judy? Oh, Lou did. I'm sorry. All right, we've got a nomination, proper motion second with Betsy Hester. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ethics Committee, County Commissioner, term expiring Lewis Green. Nomination, Lewis Green. County Commissioner Houston Aaron Jr. expiring. Nomination, Jack Walton. County Commissioner Ernie Williams, term expiring. Nomination, Ernie Williams. Constitutional County Officer Sadie Wade, Register of Deeds. Nomination, Sadie Wade. Board Committee Commission Authority Corporation or other member, Rick Berger, who's a Water Authority member, and nomination, Rick Berger. Do I have a motion? You got the motion. Proper motion second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. At this time, we need to take about a 10-minute recess, and we need to get together in the groups, and those groups are District 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12, and get together, and we have standing committees, which are Rural, Steering, Human Resources, and Parks and Rec. And if we'll get together and determine, for the new commissioners, you serve, say if you serve on rules this year, next year you can't serve on rules for every 4 years. So we'll get together and divide that, and we'll take a 10-minute recess and do that. Thank you. Who's gonna be the spokesperson for Districts 1 and 2? Commissioner Ricky Jones. Let's see. Number one, who do you have on rules, Commissioner?
On rules, Betsy Hester.
All right, steering,
Do each of them like that? Steering
Yeah.
would be John Hancock,
human resources,
myself,
Ricky Jones, Parks and Rec,
Dwight Jones.
Dwight Jones. Got that? Okay, Districts 3 and 4,
Okay.
Commissioner Wilson.
We're gonna divide it up, I think. Anyway, Rules Committee will be Kathy Danner. And Steering Committee will be Cheryl Wilson. Judy, you want me to give the rest? Yeah. Okay, all right. Parks and Rec will be Judy Hayes. And Human Resources will be Judy Herbert.
All right. District 5 and 6,
Rules Committee will be Commissioner Jeff Ford. Steering will be Commissioner Arlene Cook. Human Resources will be Commissioner Louis Green. And Parks and Rec will be Commissioner Tommy Little.
thank you, Commissioner Cook. District 7 and 8,
Rules Committee, Commissioner Burt Chalfant. Steering Committee, Commissioner Jack Walton. Parks and Rec, Commissioner Tom Bain. And Human Resources, Commissioner Greg Davis.
all right, thank you, Mr. Chalfant. Districts 9 and 10,
Rules Committee, Mary Brockman. Steering Committee will be Bob Barnwell. Human Resources Committee will be Travis Hawkins. And Parks and Rec Committee will be Lynn Williams.
all right, thank you, Commissioner Barnwell. And Districts 11 and 12,
Mr. Chairman, Rules Committee will be Brandon Ryan. Steering Committee will be Brian Beathard. Human Resources Committee will be Steve Smith. And Parks and Rec will be Doug Langston.
thank you, Commissioner Smith.
Now you can read them all into the
By
record.
committee, to each committee separately.
Okay, the first committee we'll vote on is the Rules Committee, and I have out of District 2, Commissioner Hester. District 4, Kathy Danner. District 6, Jeff Ford. District 7, Burt Chalfant. District 9, Mary Brockman. And District 11, Brandon Ryan. That would be the 2010-2011 Rules Committee. Commissioner, motion by Commissioner Hancock, second by Commissioner Ricky Jones. All in favor of the Rules Committee? Opposed? Let the record show it unanimous. Next committee we have is Steering Committee, John Hancock, Cheryl Wilson, Arlene Cook, Jack Walton, Bob Barnwell, Brian Beathard. Proper motion by Commissioner Smith, second by Commissioner Chalfant. All in favor? Opposed? Let the record show it was unanimous. Parks and Rec Committee, we have Dwight Jones, Judy Hayes, Tommy Little, Tom Bain, Ernie Williams, Doug Langston. Commissioner Barnwell, who was second? Commissioner Smith. All in favor? Opposed? Let the record show it was unanimous. In Human Resources Committee, we have Commissioner Ricky Jones, Commissioner Judy Herbert, Commissioner Louis Green, Commissioner Greg Davis, Commissioner Travis Hawkins, Commissioner Steve Smith. Entertain a motion? Commissioner Hancock, second. Commissioner Smith. All in favor? Opposed? Let the record show it's unanimous. The next item on our agenda, we have the notaries.
Can we just remind everybody?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Diane has a,
20th. The date has already been set for the Rules and Steering Committee meetings, which is the 23rd of this month. The Steering Committee will meet in the conference room at 5 p.m. followed by the Rules Committee, immediately following. So, those are the date that we've got scheduled, and if anybody would also contact your county commissioners and let them know that the various committees that you would like to serve on, or you may contact our office.
Yes.
Yeah, repeat it.
September the 23rd at 5 p.m. in the conference room is the steering committee meeting. Immediately following that, and we're assuming probably 30 minutes, would be the Rules Committee to review the rules of procedure. Does that help, Commissioner Langston? Mm-hmm.
All right, next item on the agenda is the notaries, and I want to remind some of the new commissioners, you need to check the list to make sure that you're not on here or a family member or something. If so, you need to declare a conflict, but I'll entertain a motion on the notaries. Proper motion, and Tommy Little motion, and second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Moving on, the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, and we'll take these as a whole. Just need a motion. Commissioner Davis, and second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Let's see. The motion passes unanimously. Moving to the appropriations, Resolution 910-1, resolution requesting the Williamson County Board of County Commissioners redesignation of previously issued bond funds for like projects.
Move for approval. Second.
Commissioner Smith, who was my second? Commissioner Williams. Discussion? Oh, your school board, did you?
I didn't get them, I'm sorry. I forgot to do that. Do we have the school board vote, Leslie? She's not looking. Ask.
Education Committee?
4 yes, 1 no.
Budget? I believe that was 3-0. Leslie, do you have the school board report, or Pat? 12-0, thank you. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman, as the caption says, this resolution involves previously approved bond funds for the school system to do capital maintenance and technology projects, primarily roof repair on some of the schools and technology replacement. There were funds left over in those accounts from the previous projects that are now available to be used on some building maintenance, but primarily a lot of computer equipment that has got to be replaced. It's sorely out of date. And so these are not new funds, they're remaining funds from previous bond issues.
Commissioner Barnwell?
Yeah, I've got a question on this. The decreases are coming out of contingency funds, and the only place we put contingency fund are in long-term bond issues. These are short-term purchases, short-term useful lives. I just can't understand how we can use 20-year money to provide services for 5-year items. I mean, I need an explanation for that. Because I looked in our book, and I thought, for one, I thought we used fund balance to buy most of the stuff in those 2 years. So I'm curious where the money came from, and we don't put contingencies in these short-term deals.
The contingency is my account that I establish when we start doing the projects each year. It usually takes, when you all approve a capital issue every year in July, it usually takes about 2 to 3 years to get every project in there completed because they're roofs and replacement of HVAC systems and things like that. So as the majority of the projects get completed, what I do is I pull the money out of that line item project and put it into a contingency account, and that money builds until we get to the end of when I feel like that I can either turn the money back or use it for another project. So that's what that is. It's not something that you all have approved, because we never budget a contingency in those items. That's something that I use to pull the money once the project is done out of that project to show that it's completed and put the leftover money in that account. Because everything is a budgeted line item, and so if the roofs are over or under, I need to pull from that contingency account to make sure that the line items have sufficient funds, because none of them have been bid out at the time that we make the request.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Where does this money show up in our debt book, Mr. Coleman? Because I couldn't find it.
Oh, okay.
Because this, to me, this is not, when we approve these things on an annual basis, these are almost like immediate purchases, especially for the computers. We just don't, these are for that coming school year. And I'm curious.
Mr. Chairman, if I might, and Ms. Barnwell is correct, if we were borrowing the money for computers standalone by themselves, we would not go 20 years. But when we're doing 20-year bonds for school buildings and we also have some computers, then you're averaging the life of all of those things that are included in those bonds. And most of the time, it's a 20-year bond, and the school probably has a life of 50 years. So we have no problem legally and with the bond funds averaging that out. But if they were standalone by themselves, yes, sir, we would not go that length of time.
Okay, so this money came from not buying computers for brand-new schools?
I can't say that. They could have been blended in with new schools like we did in July when you saw $3.4 million for repairs and computers. That could be blended into the bond that you're going to look at the end of this meeting.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Is that all, Mr. Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Any further discussion? I see any, none. You ready to vote? Oh, that's all right. Commissioner Green?
No, if you look down there, I'm the only no vote on the page. But when I've looked at this resolution to begin with, we just set the budget for the coming year. And all of a sudden, I come to the next commission meeting and there's a request for $1.9 million. And at that time, I thought, what's going on? But since then, and Leslie's explained part of it, and David just explained the rest of it, but it just struck me as why a request for $1.9 million when we just set the capital in July. And that kind of bothered me. So that's my one no vote on there. But after my discussion with David Coleman and Leslie's explanation at the education meeting, that's why I've come to terms with that. And as David says, what we're doing is short-circuiting the process. Normally that monies would come back into the commission general fund, and we just turn around and write them a check. So basically what we're doing is short-circuiting that process. But it still bothers me that we came up with the critical situation where we have to replace these computers when we knew that when the budget was set for this year. That kind of struck me as it got my attention, let's put it that way. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Green. Commissioner Ricky Jones?
Do we know how many computers will be bought with these funds? How many? 16? Okay. Okay.
Any further discussion? You ready to vote? You ready, Linda? All in favor, press your yes button. Opposed? Press your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
2 yes and 1 no.
All right. Resolution 910-2, resolution appropriating $45,496 additional federal funds for the American History Professional Development Grant. Commissioner Smith moved and Commissioner Brockman second. School board report 12-0. Education.
5 yes, 0 no.
Budget. Explanation.
This is having to do with remaining funds from a federal grant for American history professional development for teachers in our school system. The federal government has allowed an additional year under this grant program. We need to account for that on our books and make use of that for the various line items that you see under the $45,496.
Any further discussion?
I'll abstain since I'm involved in the program, but I would ask for everyone's support in the program. It's a great program and helped a lot of history teachers throughout the county.
Commissioner Williams?
It's not going to be on tonight's agenda, but coming through next, I pulled it. There's going to be, I think you have it on your desk tonight. There's a resolution coming through next month that I'm asking the county commission to look at passing a resolution that if someone is hired on grant monies, that working through HR, that they will sign a documentation that if that grant money goes away, then that job goes away. So that will be coming in October.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Smith?
Under this particular situation, if I'm not mistaken, the only the salary funds there are represented by substitutes that are needed so that the regular teachers can entertain the training.
I'll vote my conscience then.
Okay. And if I may add in the last whereas, these are federal funds with no local matching money. If everybody ready to vote? If you for it, push a yes button. Not, push a no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
Okay. 22 yes, 1 abstain.
Resolution 910-6, resolution appropriating $41,857.15 to the 21st Drug Court Incorporated, revenues to come from DUI fines. Proper motion and second. Commissioner Chalafant. Commissioner Barnwell, second. Law Enforcement Committee.
Law Enforcement, 7 in favor, 0 against.
Budget Committee. Explanation, Commissioner Chalafant.
Explanation on this, and there'll be several others that follow. These funds are coming in through our court system, and it's being moved to the 21st Drug Court Incorporated, which is a 501c3. One of the stipulations to the act is that the funds should not revert to the county general, but shall be held in a dedicated account, and that's what we're doing.
Okay.
This is no new funds. This is revenue that's come in through the courts.
Commissioner Barnwell.
Yes, I would like to say that during our law enforcement meeting, I asked Judge Andre, who was starting up a DUI court this year, about these funds being DUI fines, and she said to me, to the committee, that she was not interested in taking this money from the drug court. So I just wanted everybody to know that this is not the drug court taking money from the DUI fund.
Thank you, Commissioner Barnwell. Any other discussion? You ready to vote? All in favor, push your yes button. No, push your no button.
Mr. Hancock.
Commissioner Hancock?
Thank you.
There we go. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes.
Resolution 910-7. Oh, it passed. Resolution appropriating $7,227.74 to the 21st Drug Court Incorporated, revenues to come from designated fund balance.
Move for approval?
Second. Proper motion, Commissioner Chalfant, second, Commissioner Barnwell. Committee reports, law enforcement.
7 in favor, 0 against.
Budget.
3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation.
This is much the same. It's moving these funds to the 21st Drug Court Incorporated, which is the 501c3, in accordance with the proper resolution.
Thank you, Commissioner Chalfant. Any questions? Ready to vote? All in favor, push your yes button. No, your no button. Ms. Anderson, record the vote.
Okay, 23 yes.
Passes unanimously. Next resolution, 910-8, resolution appropriating $34,008.60 to the 21st Drug Court Incorporated, revenues to come from dedicated account.
Move for approval?
Second. Proper motion, Commissioner Chalfant. Second, Commissioner Barnwell. Law Enforcement Committee.
7 in favor, 0 against.
Budget Committee.
3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, Commissioner Chalfant.
That's the same program. I might add on the previous ones, that's been a education program. This is a drug court treatment program.
Any questions? Ready to vote? In favor, push your yes button. No, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 910-9, resolution appropriating and amended the 2010-11 county general budget by $87,661.11, revenues to come from victim assessment fees.
Move for approval?
Commissioner Chalfant, Commissioner Hester is second. Committee reports, budget.
Budget 7 in favor, 0 against.
That's law enforcement.
Correction.
So, and Commissioner Chalfant, law
And then
enforcement.
7 in favor, sorry.
All right, we're moving right along.
Yeah, move it along.
Explanation, Commissioner Chalfant.
This is for victim assessment fees and the Victims of Crime Assessment Program, which the 21st Judicial District operates. These are funds that are not from the general public, but from those that are convicted.
Very good. Any questions? Ready to vote? All in favor, push your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes and 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 910-10, resolution appropriating and amending the 2010-11 general sessions budget by $43,063.64 for the DUI program, revenues to come from state grant funds. Commissioner Chalfant.
Move for approval.
Proper motion, second. Commissioner Cook, second. Law Enforcement Committee.
7 in favor, 0 against.
Budget.
3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, Commissioner Chalfant.
These funds came in the 2009-10 fiscal year, and these are unexpended funds, and this just these are applied to contracts with government agencies.
Any questions? Ready to vote? In favor, push your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0
Passes.
no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 910-13, resolution appropriating and amending the 2010-11 emergency communications budget by $40,000 for training, revenues to come from state grant funds.
Move for approval.
Commissioner Hester, second. Committee report, law enforcement.
7 in favor, 0 against.
Budget.
0 against.
Thank you, Commissioner Hester. Explanation, Commissioner Chalfant.
This is a grants received to be utilized at local level emergency communications E911 dispatcher training.
Any questions?
I have 23 yes, 0 no. Excuse me?
No, wait. Go ahead and read that,
Go. We're ready to vote. If you're in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
And it passes unanimously. I'd just like to publicly thank Bill Jorgensen for working on these grants. There's several of them here, and appreciate that. Resolution 91014, resolution appropriating and amending the 2010-11 emergency communications budget by $342,635.87, revenues to come from state grant funds.
Move for approval.
Proper motion. Second, Commissioner Green. Committee reports.
Law enforcement, 7 in favor, 0 against.
Budget Committee.
3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, Commissioner Chalfant.
These are grant funds to be used to improving interoperable emergency communications capabilities through training, exercise, and planning.
Very good. Any questions? Ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 91015, resolution appropriating and amending the 2010-11 emergency communications budget by $58,126.44, revenues to come from state grant funds. Commissioner Chalfant.
Move for approval.
Who was second? Commissioner Little. Committee reports. Law enforcement.
7 in favor, 0 against.
Budget.
3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, Commissioner Chalfant.
Against this grant is for interoperable communications planner and related training funds.
Discussion. You ready to vote? Push the yes button if you're in favor, no if you're opposed. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 91016, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into a grant agreement with the State of Tennessee, Department of Military, Tennessee Emergency Management Agency for Emergency Communication Grant and amend the 2010-2011 Emergency Communications Budget.
Move for approval.
Proper motion. Second. Commissioner Barnwell, second. Committee reports, law enforcement.
7 in favor, 0 against.
Budget.
3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, Commissioner Chalfant.
This is, again, application for state grants for inoperable communications training grant 2011.
Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 91017, resolution amending the 2010-2011 Sheriff's Office budget for AURA Grant Number 1, funds remaining at the end of fiscal year 2009 in the amount of $21,195.77. Commissioner Chalfant.
Move for approval.
Second. Commissioner Little, the second. Committee reports, law enforcement.
7 in favor, 0 against.
Budget.
3 yes, 0 no.
Commissioner Chalfant, explanation.
Again, this is a technology grant. The original amount received $32,063. These are remaining funds of $21,195.77 to be utilized by the school resource officer.
Very good. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 91018, resolution appropriating and amending the 2010-11 County General and Capital Projects budget by $285,000. Revenues to come from County General Fund balance. Commissioner Chalfant.
Move for approval.
Commissioner Hancock, second. Committee reports. Budget Committee.
3 yes, 0 no.
Law Enforcement.
Law enforcement, 4 in favor, 3 against.
Explanation, Commissioner Chalfant.
It's my understanding that it replaces 63, a total of 122 units, 63 of which have been in service for over 4 years. And apparently with the new programs that we have for the dispatch through our emergency response, the laptops that we have now have, they're adding new programs to it, and these existing computers can't take them off. We've been adjusting them over the last several years and adding programs. They just won't go any further.
Thank you, Commissioner Chalfant. Commissioner Barnwell?
Yeah, I've got a huge problem with this, as Commissioner Green had with the school thing. This is September, first meeting after their budget, and we have a $300,000 request for funds. This evidently was well known, other than this commission, prior to this resolution coming out, that these computers need to be replaced, and I'm a little disappointed that this was the way the commission operated before I got on it, and I thought this had been resolved, that everybody's going to be upfront with all this. And I understand law enforcement needs these. I think the explanations have been fairly weak, because I don't know where the new software is coming from that makes them not be able to be used. But I'd like to propose an amendment to this thing. In the budget, we authorized $50,000 under Mr. Coleman's account to cover purchasing needs for computers and whatnot throughout the course of the budget year. And I'd like to amend this resolution down to $235,000 to account for that, and have the $50,000 come from Mr. Coleman's previously approved capital budgeting funds.
Proper motion. Do I have a second?
I guess I'll withdraw it since there
Okay.
wasn't a second.
All right. Commissioner Barnwell withdrew his motion. Commissioner Langston?
It's very much like Mr. Barnwell and also Commissioner Green. When I saw this on the agenda, $285,000, and I really didn't know what this was for, and we just completed the budget, I guess 6 weeks or 7 weeks prior to that time. I was concerned as how we would come back with a budget amendment at that particular time. And so I did, in fact, vote against that in the committee level. But since that time, I attended the Budget Committee meeting, as I think Mr. Barnwell did and some others did, and I heard an explanation as to how that was done, and then I talked with Mr. Coleman. And so I wanted to let the committee know that I did vote against this at that time, but I will support it tonight.
Thank you, Commissioner Langston. Commissioner Chalfant?
Well, I happen to be the number 3 no vote on this particular one, simply in principle, in questioning why this was not in the 2010-2011 budget.
Thank you, Commissioner Chalfant. Commissioner Cook?
My arm is in the way. Excuse me. I voted for it in the beginning, but then I also listened to an explanation from County Mayor saying that during the budget process, he had asked people not to ask for computers and to wait and see, if I'm right, if we had extra funds or whatever. And then you could do that, because they had put this resolution in and then was told to hold it and redo it in our September meeting. Right.
Thank you, Commissioner Cook. Commissioner Williams?
I'm like Ms. Cook, voted for it. We had a lot of discussion about this, but one of the things that they said in there, and I think Commissioner Cook is exactly right, the way they didn't try to hide it, they were told to do it this way. But one of the things that Dusty Rhodes made in his presentation was the fact that because of the upgrades with the state, that the computers that they had now, they could not do it from their cars. That's what it's for, from the cars. And they would have to, the updates would have to be brought into the office, and therefore taking away communicate people out on the street actually for law enforcement purposes, just to make reports into the state. So that was one of the main reasons I voted for it.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. I see Commissioner Chalifant, you've already spoken to it. Commissioner Hancock?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think I totally agree with what Commissioner Cook said, and I'm sure the mayor agrees with it too. I saw him nodding his head back there. There was a lot of capital outlay things this year that, due to the nature of the budget and due to everyone's concerted effort on the budget committee and on the commission and in the other committee and the department heads to hold the tax rate down, everyone was working together, and some of these things were presented at that time and then pulled back. So for that reason, certainly I don't have a problem with it. And another reason I don't have a problem with it, anything that will help law enforcement this day and time, or emergency response people this day and time, in any way, we need to be for it. And I stand ready to vote for this.
Thank you, Commissioner Hancock. Commissioner Danner?
So are the computers they have now useless?
Mr. Thomas?
No, Commissioners, some of those go to auction, some of them get put out to other departments that aren't as mission critical.
So this is an upgrade. Okay. So is it a want or is it a need?
It is a need because they can't, a lot of the software they're running now that's being tune with what the state's doing won't work on existing laptops.
So they are useless, the ones they have now?
They can't function as well as other agencies are. It's my understanding. I think Bill's here. Bill Jorgensen can probably answer that better than I can.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. I'm not familiar with the software issue with the computers, but I can tell you that they are having mechanical issues with the computers, the screens, the keyboards, and they've been cleaned, they've been replaced, they've been worked on, and they are in a mission-critical environment, and they are failing.
Follow-up, Commissioner Dan?
No, I'm fine. That's good.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ford?
I guess I'm confused now. I thought that it was software, and my question around software was what can they not do on these computers that they will be able to do with the new ones?
Well, Bill was right in that we are getting a lot of failure rate out of them, and I don't have the exact number of what that is, but they go through it. These are 4 years old. The other batch will be 4 years old next year. We plan to replace them all in 2 years. It's 63 this year and 59 next year.
So is it software or hardware?
It's both the software, the inability to upgrade to run a lot of the things that they need to run now, and the other issue is the failure rates that are going on with them. But that
so if we address only the failure rate, how many do we need? How many are inoperable? How many out of these 122 are inoperable?
I don't have that exact number, but then we get into a problem of having different devices in different vehicles and the maintenance issues. But we can come back with another number.
But aren't you going to have that anyway? If you're replacing 63 now and you're doing 59, aren't you going to have different models anyway? I don't understand what.
No, they're the same models, I believe.
Okay, I'm real confused. I personally would like to see, you know, what do we, you know, do we have cars now that don't have laptops?
No, I don't believe so.
Then where's then I don't understand the failure rate. Okay, so
I believe they all have
Yeah.
laptops.
Sheriff?
There is a new, there is a new software coming out where they call it the Tennessee Criminal Record System.
Okay.
And this is through the Department of Safety and TBI, where all records from all law enforcement will be put in this system together. Under the current system, we will not be able to do that.
Okay.
Under the new system, we will be able to do that and to share that information with the other agencies. We do not have laptops in every car. We have them in the patrol units. We do have them in a few of the warrants, but not all of them. So the ones that we do, they're right. We're having computers go out on every shift because of the wear and tear on them that they're wearing out. So the replacement for them, but also the new ones, the main thing is for this criminal record system. So we will be able to share information through our records that we have through the sheriff's office with the other agencies. Now, if you'll remember some time ago, and what they're talking about is having to come to the department. They will have to literally drive to the department, is my understanding, to download some of this information if we keep the current system we got right now. What we can dump, it won't be the record system like they're wanting to have, but it'll be some information. If you remember, we went through that problem once before, and you were kind enough to give us the cards, the air cards, to where an officer could be out in the community and download that information without having to drive to the parking lot at the jail. At one time, each unit at the end of their shift had to drive to the parking lot of the jail, and in order to download to the mainframe, and had to sit there one by one until it went in. Well, we were paying overtime, 3 and 4 hours for an officer to wait to download at the end of the shift. This will help them do it out in the field, and it will be able to help us with the criminal justice system, the new system, where they're putting all offense reports and everything into one system.
So when is that new software coming out?
It's out. They're waiting on us
Okay,
now.
I thought I heard you say it was coming out.
No, they're waiting on us now.
Okay.
Chief Rhodes has been through the training on it, and we're ready to participate.
Okay, that's a much more detailed. I appreciate that explanation. It helps me understand.
Any other questions?
The function. I have one more question. I'm not sure it's for this. It may be a more general question for David, because I heard that in the budget process there were several of these that were pulled back. Did I hear that correct? Thank you, Sheriff. I appreciate that explanation.
Commissioner, I can't identify several that were pulled back, but when we set our guidelines in January, we instructed all our departments not to submit any capital request. Now, in the IT department's favor, they're not submitting this for themselves, they're submitting it for the sheriff,
I understand.
also for the ambulances and the fire vehicles. So they brought this to us early, like in February. Two things, we were trying to honor them and be fair to all other departments when we said no capital. And then secondly, at that point in time, we just didn't know where we were going to be fund balance wise, where our revenues were, so we did request them to pull it back and bring it to us, and we did request them to prioritize it and bring it in two halves.
Okay, and the next half is next year, not that.
I would assume it'll be this spring sometime, or it may be in next year's budget, but
Okay.
I would think it'll be in the spring.
Yeah, my question is really around prioritization, because if we're going to have, like Commissioner Barnwell mentioned, we used to have things piecemealed into us, and we couldn't get a full look at the picture. So are you aware of any other IT or any other capital requests that will be coming into us over the next few months so that we can get a full picture of what that capital request would look like and can prioritize our dollars?
Sir, on the county general side, I'm not aware of anything
Okay.
that's would be extraordinary. The funds that were put into our budget to handle the ongoing failures of a printer or someone's single computer, we can handle those in-house, and we have the funds to do that.
Right. It's just if there are 2 or 3 more things that are coming, next month or November, I'd like to know those to have the full picture to know what that capital, additional capital is. So if there are other things, I'd like to know that.
This is the only one I'm aware of that we actually requested them to put off.
Right, and we all understand there's emergencies that come up, but if there's other things that are planned, I'd like to know that. Thank you.
Commissioner Chalfant?
I simply wanted to say
Everybody else has to.
that the emergency responders need this. I simply questioned or did not understand the process under which we were processing this, and I'd like to call the question.
Second. Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Yep.
Can someone call the question immediately after that they have made an argument?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Williams?
I'll call the question then.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor of calling the question?
Aye.
Signify by saying aye. Opposed? We've got Commissioner Barnwell opposes. Okay, we've called the question, so we're going to vote on it. In favor, vote yes. Opposed, vote no. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
21 yes, 2 no.
Motion passes. Okay. Resolution 91021, resolution appropriating and amending the 2010-11 library budget by $86,618.35, revenues to come from miscellaneous donations.
Second.
Commissioner Langston to second. Committee reports, Library Board,
7-4, against.
Budget Committee,
3 yes, 0 no.
explanation, Commissioner Barnwell.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is just the housekeeping that must be done for when the funds are received from various locations like cities and the Friends of the Library and various other donations, to get them into the accounting process where we can actually spend the money.
Thank you, Mr. Barnwell. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Oh, Commissioner Hancock?
Did we know this money was coming during the budget process? Is this a gift that comes every year?
This is money that's come in after the budget process was done. City allocates money to us. We get all sorts of donations. I think we got some of this is money from last year, isn't that right, Janice? That we did not get spent by the end of the year, and that's just rolling it over into this budget year.
But did we know this money was coming when we were in the budget processes, Mr. Chairman, if I might? As a follow-up, did we know it was coming, when we went through the budget process?
Not until the city approves their budgets. We didn't know it.
May I follow up, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Did we spend any money during the budget process that this money would have replaced for the libraries?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 91022, resolution appropriating and amending the 2010-11 county clerk's budget by $5,000, revenues to come from automation reserve account.
Move for approval.
Commissioner Green made the motion, Commissioner Williams the second. Committee report budget,
3 yes, 0 no.
I don't believe it went to any other committees. Explanation,
This is monies from filing fees to be used to purchase various computer equipment that's needed by the department. No local funds, it's all from fees.
thank you, Commissioner Green. Any questions? Ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 91023, resolution appropriating and amending the 2010-11 assessor's budget by $4,750 for educational incentive salary supplements, revenues to come from state funds.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Green, Commissioner Little, second. Committee reports, budget,
3 yes, 0 no.
explanation.
These funds initially went into direct payments into the fund, and Tennessee annotated code 6701508 has changed that and now requires them to push the money through the county general fund rather than a direct payment to that department. So this rectifies that and puts it in place where it's a direct payment to the general fund and not to the department.
Thank you, Commissioner Green. Any questions? Ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 91024, resolution amending the 5-year capital improvements budget in the 2010-11 capital projects budget and appropriating up to $170,900 recreation privilege tax funds. Commissioner Barnwell, Commissioner Brockman, the second. Committee report, Parks and Rec was 4-0. Budget Committee,
3 yes, 0 no.
can you explain this, Commissioner Green?
Yeah, I can do that. Now, this is a resolution. It's an 80-20 split between a grant where we provide 20% of the monies.
So this is privilege tax.
Back one.
24.
Which resolution are we on?
24.
That's what I'm talking about. No, this is, these funds are $170,900 for recreation privilege tax funds to the Department of, it's a group fund to repair and replacement safety issues throughout the county. These are issues that come about because of the usage on the various things, and you can see there's various items in there that need repair, and for $170,900.
Thank you, Commissioner Green.
Sorry about that confusion.
Sorry. Any questions? Ready to, Commissioner Williams?
I'm going to support the resolution, but this body's heard me complain about this in the past. Every one of these figures all the way down through here are in round figures. 25,000, 17,000, 14,000, 27,000. I question how these figures are round figures like that. So I would only ask that we be specific as possible when we start replacing these particular items. That's all I was going to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Any further questions? Ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
Okay, 23 yes, 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 91025, resolution authorizing the county mayor to execute a contract with the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation and amend the 2010-11 County General Fund and the Capital Projects Fund budgets. Motion, Ms. Brockman, second, Commissioner Williams. Committee reports, budget.
3 yes, 0 no.
Parks and Rec was 4, 0 against. Property Committee?
6 for, 0 against.
Explanation?
Sorry about that. Now, this is money. It's the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. It's a state government entity with grant money available to implement some county recreational area. And these grants were to construct a recreational trail that satisfies the ADA, American Disabilities Act. It's not mentioned in here. This is at the Natchez Trace location where they're going to build a trail. It's an 80-20 split. The state funds amounting to $76,700, and the county's part of that is $19,175. So,
Commissioner Brockman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to say this is wonderful news. Obviously, I want everyone to support it. We had great fanfare opening up an access road off the Natchez Trace Parkway. Much thanks to Commissioner Hayes and others. And now we're actually going to be able to have a trail system there, so yahoo.
Commissioner Hayes?
Thank you. I was just going to mention that it was Timberland Park, which was the gift from the state. We worked cooperatively with the Natchez Trace Parkway to get that entrance. The state had indicated it probably couldn't be done, and they were very cooperative in getting that done. We also, thanks to our representatives, got a grant from the Federal Highway Commission to put in the road off of the Natchez Trace. So far, we've had very limited local funds involved, and this is another grant. And my particular thanks to Doug and his group and all the people who made this possible.
Thank you, Commissioner Hayes. Any other comments, questions? Ready to vote? All in favor, push your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 91029, a resolution authorizing the issuance of general obligation school bonds in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $18,200,000 in one or more series as federally taxable Build America bonds or as federally tax-exempt bonds of Williamson County, Tennessee, making provision for the issuance, sale, and payment of said bonds, establishing the terms thereof and the disposition of proceeds therefrom, providing for the levy of taxes, for the payment of principal of premium, if any, and interest on the bonds, and authorizing the reimbursement for funds previously expended for purposes authorized herein, if any.
Second.
Commissioner Smith on the motion, second Commissioner Green. Budget Committee. I believe that was the only committee it went to. Explanation. Mr. Coleman, would you like to explain this?
Mr. Chairman, I'll just kind of speak about both of these resolutions, if that's all right at this time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The first one is the general obligation school bonds, and those are used for high school construction only, with other general obligation things like we talked about earlier, the $3.4 million that was approved in July for roof repairs and computers and those kinds of things. We also divide those up between high school and K through 8. So this is high school building that's finishing the school at Spring Hill, plus the portion of that $3.4 million that's dedicated to high schools. The next resolution will be for the old term is rural debt service. Now we're calling it the county district school bonds. That will be for the new Trinity Elementary School and also the portion of the $3.4 million that was dedicated to K through 8 schools. I think we gave you a schedule there that Ms. Holman prepared showing approximately $2.9 million that were left from the two projects that were just finished, Pierre Creek and Allendale. So that $2.9 million will reduce this bond issue. And then you'll see the $20.8 million that was approved for the Trinity, and the $35 million that was approved for Summit. That's the high school in Spring Hill. We had already borrowed half of that, so we're picking up the other half. And then you see at the bottom the $3.4 million general and rural for the technology and repairs. So that's what it is, Mr. Chairman. We'll be happy to answer any questions. We are asking for the flexibility on both of these, that we can either do the traditional tax-exempt bonds in the market that we've done primarily in the past, and also the new Build America bonds that the government started a little over a year ago. We did issue Build America bonds last fall and got a very good interest rate, and then we get a 35% of the interest is rebated back to us from the federal government, and I think today we got a payment of approximately $400,000 back from the government for the interest rate on this last payment. So if you can give us that flexibility, then we'll go to the market and offer that flexibility to the market, and then we'll take the best bid.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. You may stand there.
I'll hang close.
Hang tight. Commissioner Barnwell?
Yes, question for Mr. Coleman. I didn't realize this, but I understand we have a bank balance in the adequate school facilities account that we could use of about $5 million. And this, to me, is probably sitting there at 1%, and now we're going to go out and borrow money at 3 to 5%. Why aren't we using this money right now and reduce this bond issue?
Well, a couple of reasons, Mr. Barnwell. I might just say that those funds were established by this body, and this body has not brought us any resolution to use them for any construction project. They certainly can be. The other reason that I would give, and this is just my personal opinion, we are still looking at a very tough budget year. We don't know what next spring is going to hold as far as revenues. There's been a lot of discussion about whether there'll be a property tax or not be a property tax increase. If we get in a real bind, these funds could be used with this body's permission to fund debt service. And that just gives us that flexibility. But they certainly can be used, and this body can dedicate it to that.
Follow up, Commissioner Barnwell?
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
Okay, 23 yes and 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 91030, a resolution authorizing the issuance of county district school bonds in the aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $19,200,000 in one or more series as federally taxable Build America bonds or as federally tax-exempt bonds of Williamson County, Tennessee, making provisions for the issuance, sale, and payment of said bonds, establishing the terms thereof and the disposition of proceeds therefrom, providing for the levy of taxes for the payment of principal of premium, if any, and interest on the bonds, and authorizing the reimbursement for funds previously expended for purposes authorized herein, if any. Commissioner Smith, second. Commissioner Langston, budget report.
3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, Mr. Coleman, if you, and he just explained it. If we have any questions on this, do we have any questions for Mr. Coleman? I see none. You ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 91031, resolution authorizing the county mayor to enter into a contractual agreement for the provision of dental services at the Williamson County Health Department in an amount not to exceed $138,000. Commissioner Davis?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Little, the second. Budget Committee report.
3 yes, 0 no.
Commissioner Davis, does this go to your committee?
Public Health did not meet.
Okay. All right. Explanation?
This is money reimbursing us from the state for operating dental services in the local county health department. Pays for a dentist and a dental assistant supplies.
Very good. Any discussion? I see none. You ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson. 23
yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 91032, resolution appropriating and amending the 2010-11 Circuit Court Clerk's budget by $12,000, revenues to come from reserve account. Commissioner Hancock?
Move for approval.
Who was the second? Commissioner Dwight Jones. Budget Committee?
3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, Commissioner Hancock?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is expenditures is for office equipment in the Circuit Court Clerk's office for various office equipment for the amount of $12,000. Revenues to come from reserve automation, general sessions, civil court.
Thank you, Commissioner Hancock. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 910-5, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a memorandum of understanding with Emergency Management Reserve Command Incorporated for disaster relief cooperation and support. Commissioner Chalfant?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Hancock, the second. Committee reports, law enforcement.
Law enforcement, 7 in favor, 0 against.
Budget.
3 yes, 0 no.
Thank you, Commissioner Hester. Explanation, Commissioner Chalfant.
This memorandum of understanding just ties an all-volunteer organization to the Emergency Management Department. Mike has a grand total of 3 people, 2 permanent and 1 or 2 half people, and this is a matter of being able to support them in case of emergency. It's all volunteer. It costs the county nothing.
Thank you, Commissioner Chalfant. Any discussion, questions? I see none. Ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
That passes unanimously. Resolution 9-10-11, resolution to reappoint Robert Woodside as Judicial Commissioner for Williamson County. Commissioner Chalfant?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Cook, second. Committee report, law enforcement.
Law enforcement, 7 in favor, 0 against.
Budget committee.
3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, Commissioner Chalfant.
This is just under section 40-1-111 Tennessee Code annotated as far as judicial commissioners are concerned, a warrant to issue warrants.
Thank you, Commissioner Chalfant. Any discussion, questions? I see none. You ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes unanimously. Resolution 9-10-12, resolution to reappoint Jody Street as Judicial Commissioner for Williamson County. Commissioner Chalfant?
Move for approval.
Proper motion. Second. Commissioner Little, second. Committee reports, law enforcement.
Law enforcement, 7 in favor, 0 against.
Budget committee.
Budget committee, 3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, Commissioner Chalfant.
This is the same as the previous one. It's under Tennessee Code 40, section 40-1-111.
Thank you,
to appoint the commissioner.
All right. Any questions, discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
Jay,
Oh, never mind.
thank you. 23 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. It passes unanimously. Resolution 9-10-26, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into an agreement with the Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance. Commissioner Hancock and Chalfant.
Move for approval.
Second.
Proper motion. Commissioner Chalfant, second. Committee reports, law enforcement.
Law enforcement, 7 in favor, 0 against.
Property committee.
6 in favor, 0 against.
Budget committee.
3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation.
Mr. Chairman, if you want me to do it, Bert?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, the rescue squad used to sell these permits, these electrical permits, as a revenue source for them. But for whatever reason, they quit providing that service to the county and to the people of the county. And now the county is going to pick it up and fill that vacuum so that they'll have one stop in the office. And that's pretty much so they can get the electrical permits up top. And the county didn't really want this, and if anyone else would have stepped forward and said, we want it, they would have most graciously backed out, but we need to provide that service.
Thank you, Commissioner Hancock. Commissioner Smith?
Does this involve electrical inspections on new construction? And if so, do we have anybody qualified to do that? Is that a new position we're going to have to hire?
Commissioner, if I might, I'm going to yield to the planner.
All right.
Good evening. Commissioner Smith, no, sir, it doesn't. What happens is, for all jurisdictions within Williamson County, save the city of Franklin,
all electrical permits or electrical inspections are conducted by the fire marshal's office. City of Franklin has established their own electrical department, conducts their own set of inspections. So to that extent, no, it will not mean new employees.
Okay, so getting the permit itself does not involve the inspection?
No, sir.
Process.
No, sir. It's basically a sales item. That's what how the rescue squad has done it probably for 20-plus years, and all it was a case of selling the permits, and then at the appropriate time, the inspector would come out, would be contacted, and the state inspector would come out and evaluate the work.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Brockman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Joe. I just was going to, obviously, this is going to be authorized under your department. And so is there a standard that we use, and specifically within your department, who will handle this?
Well, right now, it'll run out of Mr. McMillan's section of the department with his building codes. And what we anticipate, we're still going over some details with the state of Tennessee. And what we anticipate, we hope that we will be in business by October 1.
Okay, good. And some of this really happened after the flood, in terms of getting
actually, that's sort of how we found out about it.
Exactly,
I think we luckily sent the first flood victim we had to the wrong place, and that's when we found out that the electrical permits, and we thought it would be, from a pure one-stop shopping sort of mechanism, we thought it would be appropriate to bring it to the 4th floor. Although, again, we'll be selling permits, but we won't be doing inspections.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Any further questions? Commissioner Williams?
Joe?
Yes, sir.
I've had some dealings in the past with the state electoral people, and correct me if I'm wrong, but, and I don't know whether your office would have anything to do with this or not, but they get paid, some of those electrical inspectors get paid on how many times they come out to inspect the property. Am I correct?
I've heard that particular, I don't want to use the word allegation. I've heard that particular observation, yes, sir. But
Joe, you wouldn't be involved in having to keep up with it. This
no, sir. But what we would do is obviously, just from a pure standpoint, if were that to come to pass, and there seemed to be something like that, we would certainly be in a position to contact the appropriate authorities in the fire marshal's office to suggest that was going on, if that were in fact found to be the case.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions? I see none. You ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
We have 23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 91027, resolution authorizing the county mayor to execute an estoppel certificate in agreement along with the City of Franklin concerning the operation agreements with Franklin Realco LLC for the conference center. Commissioner Hancock?
Move for approval.
Second. Commissioner Smith, the second. Property Committee?
6 in favor, 0 against.
Budget Committee?
3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, Commissioner Hancock?
Mr. Chairman, as the committee understood this, it was a change of operational ownership, so to speak, not ownership, but agreement from one group, Noble Investment in Cool Springs, and to Franklin Realco Limited. And this, and I'll certainly yield to council, but I think this agreement protects everyone from any potential loss in that exchange. And I'll yield to the attorney if I missed it much.
All right. Any questions? I see none. You ready to vote? In favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 91028, resolution declaring certain property and equipment surplus property and authorizing the sale of the property and equipment at auction. Commissioner Hancock?
Move for approval.
Second. Commissioner Little, the second. Committee reports, property?
6 in favor, 0 against.
Highway Commission, 4 0 against. Budget Committee?
3 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, Commissioner Hancock?
Yes, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, once or twice a year, the county has surplus equipment that's worn out or not used anymore, or for whatever reason, it has no value to the county, and they put it up for sale, for auction, and it was bought with taxpayers' dollars, so it has to go up for auction in order for you to get rid of it, and it's surplus, and I'll assure you, in most of these departments, can get rid of, especially this rolling stock, it's ready to be sold.
Commissioner Green?
Question I have is, in looking at these various items that are for sale, was, I guess, extensive list, but I see there's some automobiles on here. Where can they be viewed for the public that wanted to go out and take a look at them and see if they wanted to bid on it?
Mr. Coleman?
Mr. Green, they're out at our Beasley Drive location, out just below the jail there, and they'll be on the back lot. And we are planning, just thought of this today because we do have several new members, that the Friday before the auction, we're going to try to set up a time and we'll notify the members. And if you'd like to come out, and everything will be lined up and in good shape, the auctioneer will probably be there, so if you have any questions. And so anyone that has not been there, we welcome you to come see that process. But the sheriff's vehicles are usually lined up behind that building in a fenced-in area.
Commissioner Coleman, do you know what date that auction is?
October the 2nd, I believe. It's on a Saturday.
Correct. Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? You can go by and get you a good bulldozer.
Yeah. Take your local mechanic with you.
Yeah, there you go. Parts truck. You ready to vote? All in favor, push the yes button. Opposed, your no button. Record the vote, Ms. Anderson.
23 yes, 0 no.
All right. Any other business?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to make a quick announcement. There's Saturday night at Centennial High School, all of the Williamson County High School bands will be performing an exhibition starting at 7 o'clock. So if you want to come out and see your local high school marching band and see them perform, it's a great time, and come out and support the kids.
Thank you, Commissioner Ford. Anything else?
Best show in town.
Best show in town.
I'd also like to thank Sheriff's Deputy Lynn Sutton for being here tonight for our security, and the sheriff also. Appreciate that. Again, I want to publicly say thank you for electing me your chairman. I hope I do a good job for you. If there be no further business, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you.